I want to start this video off with a question, and you can answer it now in the comments and go back and edit it later on if you want to, but it may be better to wait to the end of the video before you answer it. What qualifies someone to be a fitness coach, or what makes someone a fitness coach? Pretty simple question, I think, right? But just hear me out.
I guess the big question is, what's your response to people saying that you shouldn't be a personal trainer?
Honestly, my response is that the fact that they think that health and fitness is based entirely on weight, which is what they're judging me on. For me, health and fitness is not just about weight. It's everything from your mental health to your cardiovascular health. Anybody can be a personal trainer if they train and they qualify and they get insurance and they get a job and they can get clients.
Fair enough.
Now, all over fitness social media at the moment, the sort of new grift, I don't like using the word grift actually, that's kind of like too stereotypical and gives people a bad rep, if that makes sense. But the new endeavor that people are pursuing is coaching of coaches to become coaches, or in themselves being a fitness coach, getting people in shape. DM me for coaching, all of these things, right? You honestly can't go 2 seconds without noticing it. It's on bodybuilders pages, it's on fitness influencer pages, and coaches in general, personal trainers. People you see at the gym probably have that in their bio. And to be honest, there's nothing wrong with that. As someone who used to be fat and now is more in shape as such, I think it's good that people are becoming more aware of how to get in shape. And of course, they want to teach other people on how to do that also. Of course, they want to make money from it, but ultimately, I'm sure there are loads of people out there who want to do it because they want to help people. Perhaps maybe one day I'll friggin' mess about and become a fitness coach. Cal the fitness coach. Would you guys sign up for that? Probably not. But ultimately, there's nothing wrong with it at all. It just means that because of the current climate of social media and fitness social media in general, everyone wants to be a freaking fitness coach, it seems.
Could never do online fitness coaching. It's just too saturated. There's too many coaches. Does that make you feel better? Telling yourself that every single night? When you go to bed, when your head hits the pillow at night, is that how you go to bed? Just don't try because you think something's too saturated? Is that it? Let me tell you this about Buster. There's definitely not too many fitness coaches. Just like how there are not too many pilots, there are not too many plumbers, there are not too many doctors, there are not too many dentists, there are not too many healthcare workers, not too many marketing agencies. You just need something to stand out.
And in this video, I actually want to go over that whole situation, talk about how sometimes it's questionable, and sometimes you look at people's accounts and think, how is that person a fitness coach? Or what makes that person specifically a fitness coach? And then, of course, taking that all into consideration, looking at all the different facets and all the different accounts, you'll start to think and start to wonder what qualifies someone to become a fitness coach in general. It's an interesting question, I think. But before I go into that, here is a word from someone that we all know.
I would recommend to all of you, subscribe to Cal today and watch this young man keep bringing you the bangers.
But before I go into this, shout out to this commenter. I think his name is Fish. He's commented on a few of my videos before. Big ups. Thank you, mate, for commenting on that video. And if you guys have any suggestions for any other videos as well, leave a comment. It's interesting to see what you would want to see. Now, looking throughout social media, you have to wonder, like, was it ever this messy? Like, don't get me wrong, social media has not been around forever. And of course, there's been fitness coaches, like, ever since the gym was really a thing, let's be honest. But ultimately, has it ever been this messy before? With people trying to drag each other down, with people criticizing each other's videos, with there being fitness coaches literally everywhere. People starting the gym and then in turn becoming a fitness coach shortly after, with perhaps zero qualifications, zero experience, zero physique, and all this stuff like that. And these are things that I will get onto in the video, by the way.
I've truly ascended and started doing 20 sets of arms in my full body session. I start off with a Newton triceps push down with a supinated grip to bias the long head. No, it does not take long to set up. And go right into some overhead extensions to bias the medial and lateral heads.
A prime example of this sort of back and forth critique and stuff is someone called Runverse. Now, this guy is kind of like Marmite. Now, if you're not from the UK, I don't really know what to relate it to for you. Vegemite, if you know what that is, or something else, where it's basically like you either love it or you hate it. And that is kind of Runverse. Runverse is either you like his profile, you find it funny and you kind of relate to him, or you like, you enjoy it in some way, or you're someone who's very critical of him, you don't like his content in any way, and then you make videos critiquing him. I'm sort of like a bystander. I like just looking at the whole situation because he critiques these science-based lifters and their people's way of training, and in turn, people then critique him. His comment section is just full of people friggin' calling him a clown or something like this, and there's actually a whole page dedicated to exposing this guy's past and showing for who he really is. He was kind of like a hippie or something. I don't freaking know.
I mean, you know you're small when the only pose that you have is like the forever small from the side ab flex. Anybody that's lean knows that pose. It's the only way that he can look bigger. It's the only way he look bigger. Post the front double bicep. Post.
Is a bit all over the place, and to be honest, recently he started to talk about steroids, and of course he talks about lifting as well. And in himself, he is a fitness coach because of course he has, a decent transformation. He was kind of out of shape and now he's in good shape. He is not natural, so of course people are going to take that away from him. But ultimately, I think he sort of built a brand at the moment through sort of like critiquing science-based lifters, and that's kind of what blown him up over the last year or so. Now, that being said, let's talk about the science-based lifters for a moment, because these guys in themselves, again, are coaches. If you were to look at their bios, they would say, when, DM me for one-on-one coaching, or link in the bio for coaching or something like that. Whether it be someone like Iron, whether it be someone like Yo Talks, I don't think Trend Baby does anything like that. But there are other science-based lifters as well who will try and get you on consultation calls so that they can get you in shape, when kind of the ironic thing is they themselves aren't in the best shape.
As you guys have probably seen, Iron Unk and Keenan have been going at it, and they're both wrong. Like, they're arguing about, what does the term optimal actually mean? Like, oh my god, stop using the term optimal, not because, optimal is actually a spectrum, this and that. Like, dude, stop being a beta word cell. I've truly ascended and started doing 20 sets of arms in my full body session.
And speaking of, I've actually seen a few fat personal trainers recently, right? Like, there was this guy who was talking a bunch online. And I can only imagine what someone's reaction would be like if they were recommended this. Well, mate, I'm looking to get in shape, and I know that you're into the gym, so I guarantee that you have someone that you can recommend me, because, mate, I really need some help. Yeah, mate, of course, I know a guy. He's super good at what he does, and he's going to be able to help you out, trust me. Yeah, for sure, man. Let me take a look. Yeah, sure, mate. Here you go. Okay. Huh? Mate, better off going to Mike's hotel at this point. And there's also a video that Joe Frazier did recently where he sort of did like an agree or disagree situation between a younger guy who's in shape, and I don't know how old the woman was actually, but of course she was out of shape, and she's also a personal trainer, so it's kind of a bit all over the place, and
I guess the big question is, what's your response to people saying that you shouldn't be a personal trainer?
Honestly, my response is that the fact that they think that health and fitness is based entirely on weight, which is what they're judging me on. For me, health and fitness is not just about weight. It's everything from your mental health to your cardiovascular health. Anybody can be a personal trainer if they train and they qualify and they get insurance and they get a job and they can get clients.
Fair enough.
And the reason that it is kind of amusing, and that, let's be honest, we kind of do laugh at this stuff, is because these guys particularly aren't in the best shape. Whether it be these fat personal trainers or perhaps these skinny science-based lifters, they don't have the best physique. So in turn, how are they going to get other people into the best shape that they want to be, if that makes sense? So of course, keeping that in mind, it must mean that the physique has something to do with the importance or the relevance of being a fitness coach. You have to be in shape yourself to then in turn coach other people to get in the best shape that they can possibly get into. However, there is also a dilemma there, because imagine people who have the best physique that you've ever seen, but perhaps don't have the best knowledge base. There's sort of a meme that goes around of like, bodybuilders, like after their first show will like, what the frick's my phone? They're going to update their bio to like coaching available 3 spots or something like that. When perhaps they in turn don't have the best experience to be a bodybuilder and coach you to the highest level. They may be able to get you in shape, but not to the highest level. So in turn, that's a different sort of coaching, but you get my point, right? There are also other guys who have great physiques, and I spoke about this in a recent video of mine also, how there's the thing there of, you might look at someone who has a great physique, ask them for knowledge, but they might not have the best understanding because they just have great genetics, or they took perhaps performance enhancing drugs, and in turn then, they don't have the best knowledge to be able to coach you.
Doesn't matter if you're male or female, taking the Thermo Shred Stack is the best way to get lean and stay shredded year round. Simply take 2 Inno Shred and 1 shot of Volcan first thing in the morning, and it's like blowtorching your fat. Oh no, without a blowtorch.
And it's funny because you actually see a few things on social media as well of people who have been scammed perhaps on social media, or they've unknowingly been scammed into sort of fitness coaching or something like that, when basically they have the sort of face of the brand. So imagine that I'm this freaking sick fitness influencer that like has an amazing physique and a Lamborghini or something like this, right? I wouldn't actually have a Lamborghini. I'm not a big fan of Lamborghinis. It'd probably be, I like Bentleys. It'd be a Bentley. So I have a Bentley, right? And, you know, I'm the fitness influencer. I'm there in front of the car with my top off and stuff like this. You DM me for the coaching, right? We have a quick one-on-one consultation or in the messages or whatever. Then we jump on FaceTime. Then you're now in the program, but it's someone else that does the program. Do you know what I'm talking about that? It'll be someone else who's running the programs, who's writing the programs, who's writing the diet plans, who then in turn could be doing the phone consultations or something like that. That does happen where it goes to a call center. I'm pretty sure someone who actually was a thing of that was cooking for gains. I don't want to speak without the knowledge, but from the top of my head, I think his partner was the one doing the meal plans and the coaching for his people. I think something like that. I don't know.
And I stayed longer than I should have out of fear, control, and manipulation. For over 2 years, I was the one making every meal plan, training program, the cookbook. I coached every one-on-one client, even the ones who didn't sign up to be coached by me. I made the websites. I was behind the help email. I was not paid for working for him until this January, following the most recent physical incident.
Hopefully you just saw a clip of that then. If not, then I'm a freaking bit of an idiot. But you get my point. At the end of the day, people will be the face of that brand. They're their own brand. Let's say, for instance, the Cal brand, right? And then when you buy into that brand and you get the consultation, then in turn, you're just on a conveyor belt. We are speaking to someone else. So there are 2 pillars there, which seem to be imperative that you must have these 2 things to be a fitness coach: the physique, perhaps, as well as the knowledge base there as well. And someone I actually want to bring up in having those 2 things is TNF. Now, funny enough, TNF is actually a base guy as well. So maybe that's the third one. It needs to be freaking based.
I'm like, look, if you want to ask me why I believe in God, I believe in God actually due to science, which is, I know that like a lot of people in here would think that that's strange. I actually believe in God due to science. The reason I believe in Christianity is faith. I think science does point to there being a creator, but my faith is what leads me to Christ.
I like TNF. He's made, of course, great videos, giving great knowledge on training, nutrition, and recovery. He himself has a great physique. He's competed. And of course, I think he's actually competing next year as well. So it'll be sick to see how he does there. He's basically one of the biggest science-based lifting guys in the industry, kind of at the moment. Like he has over like 1 million and so followers on TikTok. And then, of course, loads of followers elsewhere. But there's one thing that TNF has that I haven't mentioned yet. There's the physique, which he has, the knowledge, which he has, but also the experience. I kind of glazed over it there, or just flew over it, or whatever you'd call it, because glaze nowadays has like a, an odd connotation. He has the experience of coaching himself as such, of course, getting in shape for his bodybuilding shows and competing in bodybuilding shows. That's why he gives that knowledge, and that's why people then in turn want to speak to him.
People feel like they can't eat like this, but they don't realize that nothing tastes as good as being healthy feels. TNF.
Ultimately, it's a mix. You need the physique, but of course, without the knowledge, then you're cooked. But with the knowledge and without the physique, you're also kind of cooked as well. You need those 2 things, but also you need the experience as well. And to be fair, having those things, whether it be the knowledge and the physique, that shows experience in some way. Of course, there are nuances to this as well, whether it be like communication skills or knowing how the body works also, because of course, what works for me may not necessarily work for you. And I don't mean that every human body is different, and law of thermodynamics doesn't freaking work like other people say and stuff like that. No, I'm not trying to say that. What I'm trying to say is that, look, if my workout split is like 6 days a week and I'm doing some sort of like push-pull legs or something like this, that works for me. That's how I've gained size. Well, I might not be working and you might be working. You might have family responsibilities, if that makes sense. You may have, perhaps some disability that might have to keep into account, or there may be some movements that you literally physically are not able to do. So of course, working around that, if that makes sense, is going to make you a better coach, because you'll have better understanding, better testimonials and whatnot, because you're able to work with different people. I think perhaps the biggest nuance though would be perhaps someone like Olympia coaches, if that makes sense. All the guys who coach Olympia level athletes in themselves aren't Mr. Olympias. Chris Aceto not a Mr. Olympia. Hani Rambod's not a Mr. Olympia. All these guys, they're not Mr. Olympias. They're just really good coaches in themselves who have been able to coach the bodybuilders to that level and to win those shows.
Chest. There you go. Yeah, got it. Good. Got it. That's it, turn. That's it. Good. You ever do that one, do you? Yeah, dude. Yeah.
He puts his traps out first. Yeah, always.
He's like, hey, what's up, guys?
What's a long neck over here?
Good.
Now, that is slightly different than fitness coaching, if that makes sense. These guys are bodybuilding coaches. They're not necessarily fitness coaches, but I just wanted to mention that because, I'm sure someone will probably mention that in the comments. And of course, this whole video doesn't refer to stuff like PDF sort of like merchants, if that makes sense. When people just put like a PDF of like, oh, how to get shredded or whatever in 7 days and stuff like this, if that makes sense. People who just sort of like siphon them off in their bio, who don't necessarily do one-on-one coaching or whatever like that. They are in shape, but of course they just sort of sell them off. I think that was perhaps more prevalent like 5 to 10 years ago, because nowadays it is just a lot more popular to do one-on-one consultations and coaching sort of person to person as such than it is just to sell PDFs, but people still do it, obviously.
One year I bulked up, started blowing up online, etc. And I had a bunch of people asking me like, what's your workout routine? Now I wasn't making any money at the time. I'm like, okay, I can make money around these questions. Yeah. So I dropped a little $20 program, started making like $5,000 a month, I think. Yeah. And the only thing that changed along the journey was just the price point. Like I switched from $20 routines, now I have programs up to $6,000.
That being said, of course, a lot of guys are going to have to start. You're not going to be in a perfect position where you're going to have the best physique, the best knowledge, and the best experience. Well, you're not going to get the experience without doing it anyway. But the best physique and the best knowledge, to be able to just start coaching, like it's going to have to get to a level where you're going to just have to start coaching, if that makes sense. And of course, I'm sure you're going to look at my bio or the freaking description of this video and see there's no coaching links there, because I'm not a coach. It's just through observation and the knowledge that I have on the sort of fitness industry as such, and knowing certain coaches as well. Now, to the kids that are sort of rushing into this stuff, I would sort of like give the advice of not to rush into it, basically, because of course people have this idea, like two ideas as such. They want to be able to get into the fitness industry and get the most knowledge that they can. These are the sort of SBL fitness kids, Iron Unk and all this stuff like this, where they want to be like incredibly based or whatever, right? Like there's those type of kids when ultimately they need to give it more time and have more experience. But also then there's that mindset of like getting rich, if that makes sense, through social media, which of course there's the opportunity to do. I'm not going to sit here and say that, oh, you need to be like specific. Like, no, like there's of course the opportunity to do it there. Loads of people have done that. But I don't think anyone should just be like starting the gym and then in 6 months trying to be a coach and then like signing up to Vincent Fisher's freaking like, coaching program to that in turn you can be a coach, like coaching for coaches to become coaches and all that freaking crap, if that makes sense, right? It's perhaps not the best idea to rush into things, get a better understanding, get a better physique and experience in that sense before going into it. That being said, there are a lot of fitness coaches out there who are doing a great job. And to those people, I will say, keep it up, mate. I think changing people's lives for the better and transforming their physiques is giving a positive impact to the fitness community and perhaps the population in general. We need more people who are in shape, man.